Hey everybody, Cindy Daychuck here with Queen Bee Creations. We are going to be making a little pendant today. We're going to be making a fairy bell pendant. And to do this, I saw this idea, I thought it was really super cute, and I happen to have knives like this. You need to have a hollow knife. So they're really not that uncommon, easy enough to thrift. You're not looking for ones that are super expensive, right? So you can do this in sterling silver, you can do this in silver plate, you can do this in stainless, whatever you want to do. Start with cheap ones first. See what you want to do. But it has to be one of the hollow ones. This is going to be the form of our bell. So you want to look for the fat guys, right? Because they're going to be hollow. And ultimately, then we just need some of the other stuff that you'll see as I go along. But I'm going to take you in overhead. We're going to get started. It isn't difficult per se, but it does, I am using some equipment. This doesn't just become a bell on its own. So I'm going to be using my Dremel tool in a couple of ways today. So if you've got a Dremel that you invested in and you're thinking, oh gosh, I almost never use it, this is the craft for you. And I think they're super cute, and you may get addicted to making them for some of your friends, some of your family, maybe little bazaars or something that you're doing. But yeah, they're pretty cute. Fairy bells, that's what they're called. I didn't call them that, that's what they're called. You can see I've got little odds and ends that we're going to be using, but this is what we are going to start out with. We're going to start out with the cutting disc on our Dremel, and we're going to be, you can see that I just kind of marked off with a Sharpie roughly where I want the bell to be. This is the length of the bell. So, you really don't need it to be going down super long, but it's helpful if you start off by marking off your lines so that as you're rotating and cutting, it's going to be relatively straight. You know me, I'm not going to sweat it if it's a little off, but I want it semi-straight. I don't want it to look all totally wonky when I'm done. You also want to wear some safety glasses. So the Dremel is going at a high speed. You're cutting into metal. There's tiny little pieces that could be kind of flying. If it happens to fly up, you want it to bounce off your glasses. If you're using a little hand jewelry saw, you're not going to have necessarily the same issue because you're not working at the same speed. But you know what? Safety glasses never hurt. And I'm going to flip you to music just to see, but this is kind of a little awkward in terms of the direction because of my hands, but this is the way I got to do it. It really cuts through it very quickly, but this end gets a little hot. So, but you can see all these little dust particles. That's what you want to make sure that you've got your glasses on. And I physically move my head way off to the side as well. Just better safe than sorry. Now, as that's cooling down, there's going to be, some rough, sharp edges here. So if you're using your Dremel, this is where you're going to want to switch it out to, your sander. If you don't have this, you did it with a handsaw, then you know what, you're just going to use, I would start with a metal file, as opposed to sandpaper. You could use a sandpaper as you get down toward the end, but a metal file is going to help you be able to shave that off a little bit better. And this, we're just going to use and go around all those edges and get them smoothed down so that, as a piece of jewelry, you really don't want making it uncomfortable for anybody. Oh, shut it off. with the Dremel, you can also take buffing pads or even little scratching pad things that will kind of buff it up or add a little bit of texture to it or whatever you may want. But we're just going straight for this. Now, the next piece of this is, there it is, there's my hammer, is I want to drill a hole into the top of this. So you want to have a little metal drill bit, right? Not big, just big enough to fit your hanging wire in. And I just find it helpful because this is very slick and I'm going to be holding it. I don't want my drill to be sliding all over. So I just get a little bit of a hole punch and it's not going to go through, but it's going to create a little bit of a divot there. That my drill bit is going to be able to fit into, and it just kind of holds it nicely in place. This is our bell part. So what we do want to have is something that clangs against it to make some noise. I happen to have these fairly heavy little silver tone balls. So if I take an eye pin, and an eye pin is one of those little jewelry pins that has kind of an open circle on the end. And I want to create a bit of a dangle, but this is what is going to fit through that ball and ultimately through my hole at the top. I just want to make sure, you know, I don't want to have it hanging way up there. It's not really going to be able to hang. I want it to hang closer to the opening of this so that it can clang. I don't want it longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some beads on it, any kind of beads, because they're going to go up in the inside of it. But I just want to put enough of some kind of bead. Let's try 3. So that when I put it up through my hole, that metal ball hits perfectly. Okay, that's awesome. What I want to do though is I have a little metal charm. This one happens to be a little dragonfly, and I'm going to add it to the end. All right, once I've opened up that hole just enough, I can slip in the loop on my little dragonfly charm. Let's see. Well, I'll have to open it up a little more. Just a tiny bit. Slip that in. And then I want to close it off. Now, I'm not opening it up so much. It would actually be easier if I didn't have the other beads on there. They keep sliding around. But the more that you open it, then it just becomes more fragile, and we want it to stay closed so that I don't lose that charm. And then once I have that on, I'm just going to close it up again. Just kind of squeeze it closed a little bit here. There we go. And my charm all dangles still. So to finish this off, I just want to slip this through my hole. So fast and easy. See, it rings. And then I want to take that top of the pin and bend it sideways. Okay, you know what? I could do a loop right there, but I'm thinking let's be a little bit more decorative maybe. Let's add a couple of those little crystal beads up top. Let's do a separate color, different colors. And then I do have a little tiny silver bead just to make it a little bit more. I'm just going to do one bead and then the silver. little more decorative. If I can get this open. There we go. All right, and then I'm just going to make a loop at the top of this that I could then put a chain or a cord through. So we're just gonna bend it around, create a little bit of a loop. Just get it a little bit bigger. And then we cut off the excess wire, and then this is done. So it does not take very long. I get that I kind of shut off the camera when you got the idea of the sawing through, but trust me, that was a very quick process. It didn't take much to be able to saw through that. And I just want to cut off the tail of that so that it's not sticking out. It's not going to be sharp. But then and here's our little fairy bell. Slip it on, get rid of my other necklace. Just very pretty sound and tone. You can personalize them depending upon what little charm you dangle, if you even want a charm to dangle. But they're just super cute and a good way to use up old knives. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Looking forward to hearing from you as always. And until the next time, take care.